Hey, 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 hey! I'm in the army. I went to Airborne school, and I made myself look like a fool. Woo! Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Belli. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a fake boglehead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon, and we got to talk about the U.S. Army Airborne School. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have actually jumped out of an airplane 5 times out of a perfectly good airplane. Airborne humor. Anyway, I like talking about finance on this channel, but I also like to share some of my past experiences, both before I was in the military, when I was in the military, and after the military, which is really when I learned about how corrupt the financial industry was. But we're going to talk about the U.S. Army Airborne School. Now, old strongman here used to be an Army. Well, I still am, technically. I'm in the reserves, but I really don't do that much. I used to be an active duty Army officer, but before that, I was an ROTC cadet in college. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I got an ROTC scholarship, and I attended Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Doxed, bro. And there, I got the opportunity, because I was a good cadet. I was a very good cadet. I got the opportunity to go to airborne school in the winter of 2008. And then I went to the Army Air Assault School in the winter of 2009. I went to airborne school, did winter break, and then I went to Air Assault School. We're going to talk about the U.S. Army Airborne School. Now, before we get into my personal experience, I want to show you what airborne school is all about. Very simply, it's in 3 weeks. It's a 3-week process, okay? When you go there, you learn how to jump out of an airplane. You know, you watch like Band of Brothers and like the D-Day invasions. That's basically airborne school. You know, all the drop zones. I forgot them off the top of my head. But, you know, the 101st Airborne, the 82nd Airborne, that were made famous, the 173rd, you know, they're stationed in Europe. All those guys have to go or had to go through airborne school. Now, airborne school back in the day used to be really challenging. The airborne school of today in modern America is simply there to teach you how to jump out of an airplane. You don't come out of airborne school as this like elite warrior. You're literally there for 3 weeks to learn how to jump out of an airplane. Now, the basic premise is you have the first week is called ground week, where you're basically learning how to fall down. Literally, that's your job. You sit there, you go on these little devices, and you just practice what's called a parachute landing fall, a PLF. And you do it over and over and over and over in like these gravel pits. And you're watched over by the sergeants, the black hats. And you want to learn how to do a PLF because if you don't do it properly, when you hit the ground, you could snap your legs. So learning how to fall properly, there's like a 5 points of contact. I was there so long ago, I actually forgot. I forgot most of this stuff. But that's all you do for the first week, okay? The second week is called Tower Week. This is when you start jumping out of like slightly elevated towers. And I'll show you pictures in a second. And at the end of the week, you go on this like really huge tower. And they literally just hoist you up and then they drop you. You just float down. That's the second week. So for 2 weeks, you're just learning how to fall. You're not even jumping out of an airplane. The third week, you jump out of the airplane, okay? All you do is you sit around, you wait, and then you jump 5 times. And if you do 5 jumps, and you have to do them in what's called Hollywood, which is where you don't have any equipment strapped to you, and then you have to do a couple jumps where you have equipment strapped to you and you have to like pull it before you hit the ground. That's the final week, 5 jumps. So it's 3 weeks total. Not that crazy. Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen. So let's go ahead and do the story of Strongman. So here I am in December of 2008, graduating from airborne school. Now this is in Fort Benning, Georgia. And while you may think the South is warm, I actually froze my you-know-what off when I was jumping out of airplanes because it was literally in the middle of winter. So here I am after my 5 successful jumps, a hardcore airborne warrior. Now, like I said, if you've ever watched Band of Brothers is a show that's really popularized, the 101st Airborne Division. These guys are on the 101st, Easy Company, Dick Winters, all that stuff. They fought in World War II. And the first part of the series is showing you how they got trained up to become airborne soldiers. And they're like running up mountains and Currahee, and they're running down mountains. They're doing all these intense activities. That was World War II airborne school. This is not World War II. The most challenging thing you do at airborne school is a PT test. Okay. The first day you show up, you do a physical training test. And back in the day, it consisted of 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. And all you had to meet were the minimum standards. And as long as you passed the PT test, you were into airborne school. And then the only other physical activity you did was you had PT in the mornings. Obviously, you had to work out every morning. And then when you went to different sites, you'd have to run, airborne. But to think of airborne school now as what you see in these movies, or what you saw in the Band of Brothers series, it's nothing like that, okay? And the sad thing was that first PT test that we took, a lot of people failed. A lot of people. And all you had to do was meet the minimums. You didn't have to max it. You just had to meet the bare minimum, which I think for dudes was like 40 push-ups back in the day and like 50 sit-ups. And you had to run 2 miles in like 16 minutes. Like I said, it was like, oh God, 14 years ago. But yeah, that's all you had to do. And you're in airborne school. So, like I said, the first week, it's called ground week. And you literally go to these gravel pits and you just stand there, and the sergeants, the black hats, who are all jump masters, at least I think they are. That's like the highest, because there's multiple like sets of wings you can get. But in order to become a master parachutist, you have to go to jump master school, which is actually really freaking hard. I never went there. But in order to be a black hat and instructor at the airborne school, you have to be a jump master and actually know how to basically do everything with parachuting. But the first week, you're literally just going to these gravel pits and you're just learning how to fall. And you can see this guy right here, this Marine, I guess it is, doing a parachute landing fall. And everybody's like smiling. But that's literally all you do for 5 freaking days. You just learn how to fall. That's literally it. Nothing else. And the whole point of that is just to like make it muscle memory. So by the time you get to jumping, you don't like crush your freaking knees. Okay. Now, this is a black hat. Okay. You see this guy, he's got a black hat. They're called black hats. These are the guys. These are your instructors. They're not really like drill sergeants. It isn't like basic training. They're just there to teach you how to not break your legs when you jump out of an airplane. So the first week, you just fall and fall and fall. And to be honest, like I was actually kind of bored out of my mind because, when I went to airborne school, I was expecting kind of like this, Dick Winters and Captain Sobel, and you're running 6 miles and, it's really hard and tons of people fail out. But really, it's just falling on the ground. Okay. So this is called this device right here. They hook you to a device and they call it the swing landing trainer. And basically what you do is you just swing back and forth and then they like drop it and then you fall to the ground and practice falling. So this is another thing you did. So you go to the gravel pits, you just fall and fall and fall. And you just wait in line because people have to go in front of you. So you're just sitting there. And then you learn the swing landing trainer. Then you get into tower week. Okay. That's when you start doing this little tower right here. This is like, I don't know, 30, 40 feet off the ground. And you literally just get in line. You go up to the tower and you jump out of the tower. And it's got a little cord and you just slide down the cord. And that's literally what you do. And the whole point of this is to learn how to properly jump out of an airplane. You actually have to like tuck your chin in because if you don't, the parachute can like rip your ears off or something like that. So the whole point of this tower is you just learn how to properly jump out. And you can see this guy has gear strapped to him. This is like, I forgot the phrase, like combat. If you're not wearing your gear and you're just jumping with a parachute, that's called a Hollywood jump, because you don't have any freaking gear. And you can see he's got this device on his chest, on his stomach. This is your reserve parachute. So your actual parachute is on your back. This is your reserve. So if your main parachute doesn't open, you jump out and you count to like 4 or 5. I think they changed parachutes ever since when I went there. But you basically learn that if your parachute doesn't open after a certain amount of time, you have to pull your reserve. So that's the whole purpose of that. But this guy, obviously, this is like a combat jump. But like even the second week, you're just learning how to jump out of a mock door. And then the final day, there's actually these really tall towers. Let me see if I can find them. Let's see. Fort Benning Jump Tower. There's these towers. Here they are. They literally hoist you up these freaking things, right? And then they just let you go, and then you just fall down. But funny enough, I didn't actually have to do this because number one, I was a cadet. I was like, nobody liked cadets at Airborne School. We were college kids. We hadn't even gone to basic, most of us. We were kind of like hated because we weren't officers, but we weren't enlisted either. We were just kind of this weird thing. But like we were like last in line to go, and I actually never got to do this. But yeah, basically we just sat on this field, and they would just draw people from the towers. And then we get to jump week, where you actually jump out of the airplane. And it's probably hard to see, but you can actually see this guy's a cadet right here. You can see he has a C on his helmet. It may be blurry. And then I can see his patch is a cadet's patch. So in jump week, you're just jumping 5 times. And what you do is you get all your gear on, and then you just sit in this room and just wait to board the aircraft. That's literally all you do. And once you get strapped in, you can't go pee-pee anymore. Okay, you can't go to the bathroom. You just have to sit there until you jump out of the airplane. So basically, you'd sit in this room, could be for hours or whatever, and then eventually you'd load the airplane. Now, when I jumped out of the airplane for the first time, I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty terrifying because we were flying at, I don't know, 1,200 feet, 1,500 feet. Like I said, I haven't been there in 14 years, so I forgot a lot of the details. But you basically be flying, and then they would open the doors, right? And you would be waiting in line with your little hook or whatever. And the wind just like blows in, and the airplane's shaking, and it's like, oh my God. But you basically, most people just jump, okay? Because you don't want to be that guy that, stops at the door and then like slows down the line, and then somebody has to kick you out the door. But after the first jump, I mean, it really isn't that bad. And honestly, I got I get sick really easy, like motion sickness. Every time I went into the plane for all 5 jumps, I was sick to my freaking stomach, like horribly sick. So I was actually just begging to get out of the freaking airplane. Like I'm not made for Airborne, I can tell you that. I have a very weak stomach because I'm just a weak man. But yeah, you literally just jump 5 times. I mean, I think one time you jump at maybe at night. I don't remember. And then you also have to wear the combat stuff. So when you have your combat gear strapped to you, you actually have to unhook it before you hit the ground. And if you don't, you can't do a proper parachute landing fall because you have the gear in between your legs. So when you're falling, you have to, wait till you're almost hitting the ground. And then you have to unhook your gear falls, and then you hit the ground, and you have to, first of all, fall properly so you don't like snap your femurs. And then you have to like unhook these hooks on your shoulders going over your traps so you don't get dragged away by the freaking parachute. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you literally just do the 3 weeks. You learn how to fall on the gravel. You're just in these pits for hours. And, you go on the swing landing trainer. You fall some more. Then you jump out of a tower. Okay. Then you go on the really tall towers, which I didn't get to do. Whatever. I didn't really care. And then the last week, you sit in this room, you wait, and then you jump out of the airplane. But overall, the whole physical part, there's no physical intensity to Airborne School. You have to pass a PT test, and then you have to do PT every morning. It's like basic, we're going to go on a run or do push-ups. And then you, I don't know, run from place to place. But that's basically it. And the rest of the time, honestly, like I was mostly bored. I was bored out of my freaking mind. Because like all the jumping stuff, that doesn't happen to the last week. The first 2 weeks, you're just standing around, falling over for hours and hours and hours. So that's kind of Airborne School. That was my experience 14 years ago. Maybe it's changed. Maybe it's like super hardcore now. I don't know. Damn, you did a lot of things. Oh, I got so many stories, man. Oh boy. Soon we'll find out you were a Buddhist monk. I was never a Buddhist monk. Okay, ever. What's up, Pucky boy? Going to find out Strongman is a CIA as well. You mean certified internal auditor or working for the Central Intelligence Agency? I'm neither. If I found out you're an artilleryman as well, I was not artillery. I was infantry. My boy's in Airborne School. I'd crap myself. It's really not that scary. And like I said, the vast majority of people jump, no problem. And I was literally so sick. Like every time I got in the airplane, I dreaded it because I would just be sick to my stomach and the airplane would be like shaking around. I'd be like, just get me out of this freaking airplane. I don't want to be on here. I never barfed, but I came close. Stocks trolling, exposing. I wonder what would be the next thing he'll claim he is an expert at. Pimping. I mean, did I say I was an Army expert? You sound like a leg. Well, technically, I'm not a leg. I'm a 5-jump chump. 5-jump chump. Bet you were Cav. Poke. Actually, oh yeah, I was assigned to the 3rd Cavalry Regiment, but it's an infantry unit. You'd be up there sniping. We're at the tower. You still have the tower at Coney Island, Airborne Tower at Coney Island. Oh, really? Represent. What's up, Juan? Everybody go check out Juan. He made a good video talking about Snot Schaefer. Navy apparently has her own airborne school. Oh, how elite of them. I wonder if Charlemagne was wearing those pantsy shills. No, I was actually wearing my military stuff. You got paid to do parachute jumping. Most people pay to do that. Find the air. You're a genius. Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, when you think of people that jump out of, like, they go skydiving, those people have very nice landings. With an Army parachute, you're slamming into the ground. It's not the same thing. It's like, oh, this nice skydive, and you can land on your feet. When you jump out of an airplane, you're, like, literally falling pretty freaking hard. And then, especially if it's windy. And you can actually, like, run into people in the air. You can actually, like, collide, and your parachutes can get mixed up, and that's actually really dangerous. So they teach you all sorts of techniques, like, if you're trapped, wave your straps like this or something. But it's not the same as what you think, like skydiving. You look like an overgrown Afghan chai boy on a patrol base. Do I? I worked as a flight medic for years. Loved it. Oh, God bless you. I could not. Airplanes are not my thing. Lucky you, I lost my airborne spot as a cadet, so I could go to another school and get my GI Bill. Yeah, I mean, people, like, they're dying to go, but my honest experience, I was bored out of my freaking mind. And, like, I know that probably sounds like I don't appreciate the opportunity, but I'm just telling you how it is. It was freaking boring. The only fun part was, like, the first time I jumped, and then the rest of the time I was sick. Sell out, weak boy. When are you going to address the rootless international cosmopolitan elites? Uh-oh. I think I know where you're going with this. All right, guys, that's it. That was my experience at Airborne School. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't worry, I'll still be covering stocks in the stock market. But I don't care if the stock market went down today. Oh, the stocks went down. Why did stocks go down today? I don't care. Oh, this stock went up a little bit today. Who cares? Oh, Jerome Powell said, like, no. You're like a Captain Spears, not Major Dick Winters. Well, I'm not either. I'm just a guy in my garage. All right, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll do some other military stuff, and hope you guys learned something about the military. Cheers!